have to take notes.
All right, good morning, friends. A beautiful summer morning here. I'm calling my story today, Lessons from a Water Heater. So about 2 months ago, as the hot water in our condo started to get less and less, it became clear that we were going to need a new water heater. So nerd that I am, I got pretty excited about researching different technologies about water heaters, especially since it kind of linked to our Electrify Everything campaign. Well, we were already electric, so I didn't need to worry about the fuel. We had a pretty conventional 50-gallon tank electric water heater. And so my goal then became, well, let's try to increase our efficiency. Simple as that. Well, so the choices became heat pump electric, also known as hybrid, on-demand electric or tankless, or stick with the tanked electric that we had. So hearing about the hybrid water heaters in our presentation from Electrify Now, I quickly took a look at heat pump water heaters, which I discovered are 2 to 3 times more efficient than tanked electric water heaters, because they're drawing heat from the ambient surroundings, but not suitable for our space with a water heater jammed into a closet with a bunch of other stuff and not a lot of air to circulate. So that one sadly was out. So then, what about tankless electric? That sounds like a good idea. You're not keeping around all this hot water all the time. That'll probably save something. Must be more efficient, right? Well, not so fast. Not so fast. So I looked at these things, and so to heat up enough water for our little tiny condo with 2 people, a shower and 2 faucets, you need about 20 kilowatts of power. Whoa, that means service of like 80 amps or 4 breakers, something like that. Wow, that's a lot of power. It just happened that Lauren and I were going down to Salem during that time. And so Lauren and I had a conversation about water heaters down on our way to Salem. And I remember one of the things she told me was, don't get a tankless electric. Don't do it. The utility, you are doing the utility a disservice. Imagine if everybody had one of these things and all took a shower at the same time, and they're all drawing this enormous amount of power to heat their water. So don't do it. That's one of the things she told me. Okay, so now I'm back to a boring same old tank water heater. What am I going to do? Oh, wait, there are these cool things called smart electric water heaters. You can hook them up to your Wi-Fi. You can enable them. You can connect them up to your smartphone, and you can even get an app for your phone. Huh? Wait, why do I want to have a conversation with my water heater? I really don't care. Frankly, I don't want to have a conversation with my water heater. Well, resigned to choosing a dumb tank electric water heater, I remembered something that Lauren told me in the conversation, and she called it demand response. She had talked to one of her colleagues at PGE and did find out that, well, PGE is a ways off on their demand response program for water heaters, but I was still intrigued. So I took a look at water heaters with these demand response ports. What does that do? Well, it allows your water heater to be connected intelligently to the grid, so that when the utility has a period of peak demand, they can turn off your water heater for a brief period of time. And since you have a tank, it doesn't really affect your the availability of hot water, because you have a supply for a while. So it enables the utility to more efficiently manage the grid and operate the grid more cleanly, avoiding dirty sources like natural gas peakers and things like that. So I thought, after consulting with Lauren again, she said, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, a good way to go. So I chose this tanked electric water heater with demand response capability. Easy, right? Well, now you call the contractors and you encounter all the opposition. Well, those aren't available quite yet. It's going to be hard to find one. Did you know you're going to be spending $80 extra for that port? Do you really want to do that? You don't have to spend that $80. Or like, you're going to get inconvenienced. Yep, you're letting the utility turn off your water heater and you're not going to have water just when you want it. So the opposition was there. But I stuck to my guns. We stuck to our guns and ended up getting the electric water heater with the demand response unit. Well, so what are the bigger lessons here? What are the bigger lessons of my crazy journey on choosing electric hot water heater? One is recognize our connectedness. The water heater is not just a thing sitting in my house heating water. It's connected to this much larger grid. And by cooperating with the larger grid, we're allowing the utility to better manage their demand. I read that in one community, by having appliances on demand response, the utility can reduce their peak load by 10%. 10% of a big number is big. So by collaborating with the grid, we're doing a big service to the utility and a big service to the climate. Lesson 2, prepare for the opposition of our consumer society. All that opposition is there. The contractors will throw these things at you of, oh, you're wasting money, you could save yourself some money, or you're going to get inconvenienced. Well, I think all of us here are willing to spend a little extra money to do the right thing. And frankly, a little inconvenience is okay. And the inconvenience is really, really unlikely anyway. And finally, think like an ecosystem. Even with a silly little water heater, it's part of a broader ecosystem that needs to collaborate and needs to work together. We can be cooperative in that ecosystem if we so choose, and if we choose the right path. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Love that. We will now pair up with one other person in breakout rooms so we can take time with the interpersonal dimension of practice 2, which states we develop relationships with other peoples, lands, and creatures, discovering our respective interests and seeking to see the world from other points of view. As you share time with another person, please make sure you both get time to share some of your story. You may share on any one of the following options being placed into the chat box now. What from Scott's story connected with your own story? What practice are you currently focusing on in your own development as a leader, and why? What are you discovering? Something significant that is happening in your life that you have a burning desire to share. And Leah is going to put us in breakout rooms for roughly 8 minutes or so, and we'll see you back here when we're done.